right, can you guys see my screen?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, so we have Raymond here if he wants to wave. I can't see you guys now. And then Patricia from Slaughter Elementary.
Hi.
Hi. And can you help me with your name?
Nishan.
Nishan.
I'm actually Jennifer. I'm here for Nishan.
Oh, perfect. Hi, Jennifer. And
Hey,
he is from Cochrane.
Yep.
And then Penelope, are you here from Semple?
Yes. Hello.
Awesome. Hi. And Latoya from Price Elementary. Maybe. And then Victor. Hi. From Kammerer. I'm not a middle school person. Hi, Victor. And then Harlina, thanks so much for joining from Lincoln Elementary. And then we also have from our digital innovation team, 3 of our leaders who got to do a club as well. We have Kathleen, Danielle, and Elaine.
And I just want to say there are 4 Zone 2 teachers here with us today. So that's really exciting.
It is. All right. Raymond's going to tell you guys a little bit about what he's doing with these clubs.
Sure. So before I even get started, really, everybody else here is the most important people because honestly, our teachers who are the ones who made this whole thing go. COVID has been hard for everybody, but a lot of times there's been an innovation of necessity. And a lot of the work that these sponsors are doing came directly from our summer adventures and summer league that we offered. A lot of people here actually were involved in that. And it was a lot of asynchronous project-based learning for a lot of the projects that were offered. And at the end, actually, Mr. Deal, he's on here, so I'll give him credit. He forwarded an email from a parent that said, hey, like this could be really good for clubs. And to be honest, that was really like the catalyst of the discussion, especially once teachers got settled into NTI 2.0, just giving students an opportunity based upon interest to become those lifelong passionate learners that we want them to be. So we put out the call, very last minute call in September to say, hey, if you'd be interested in doing a club, would love to have it. Kind of like NTI, there's a lot of unknowns, but we offered 80 K through 12. That was something that was super exciting, and clubs could be anything from filmmaking to Legos to Among Us, bird watching, yoga, you name it. Like there was clubs that I was so just surprised with and happy with that we were able to offer students. In fact, that the call was like so great, like, hey, we like these clubs, that we put out a second call, and we hope to next week launch an additional 30 clubs that go in live in February. And what really is exciting is that as these teachers talk, and as everyone talks, these sponsors talk, just this is something that we could hopefully continue throughout. COVID, as I said, has been hard, but a lot of things that we've done, as I said, innovation by necessity, and it's just great to see all these things be offered. And a lot of our sponsors just wanted to get involved with kids, and kids have loved it. So that's my spiel. Thank you guys so much. To be honest, you guys are the work behind it. So I just wanted to say thank you again.
All right. Thanks, Raymond. He's our best leader with all his emails and keeping us up to date and providing us with this opportunity. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of hang out and have a conversation and share about your all's clubs through a few questions. So the first one is, how did you develop your club theme?
Well, I can start with that one. With Patty Malka here. My club was Create, Craft, Crimp, Crinkle, and Crumple. And the thing that made me most develop was what would my students, and mine would be kindergarten through 2nd grade, what would they have at home that is at their disposal, that no materials or things you need to purchase. So mine was to use recycled materials and to make different items from that, anything from out in nature, like leaves and acorns to paint, to cylinder rolls, which are really toilet paper rolls, cylinder rolls to make puppets, to yogurt cups that we use to make games out of. So for me, the main thing was, what will my students have at home that is easy accessible? And so therefore recycling materials came in handy.
I found something that I was, of course, passionate about, which is video and videography. So the passion would come out, and it wouldn't be too much of a pull for me to learn something new or to figure something out, but it would be something I was passionate about. So being able to share that passion.
And I'll piggyback off of Elaine. Oh, I'm sorry, Penelope, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Mine is the JCPS, the virtual choir, and mine was basically to create a space to keep cultivating music through singing, especially now during COVID, that singing and teaching music has been so hard. So how to create a space for the students to keep creating and to keep making music. So yeah, so that was why, and it has been great so far.
I did something that I knew, like Elaine, I already knew about it. And I also, like Raymond had said, I did it over the summer, and it was pretty successful and a lot of interest. And I know that kids are already on devices, but I did Minecraft and a Minecraft club, and it's still going. And if I'm not there right on time, they're emailing me wanting to know where I am. So I think it's pretty successful. They don't want it to end. But also, I live in Indiana, but then my two children at home have been able to join in on the Minecraft club as well. And so that's kind of what I did. And I've become pretty passionate about it. And I'm having them do reading and writing and math, and they don't even know it. So that makes it better.
I can also go as well. So my club was Introduction to Coding, which, like others, I am very passionate about coding and computer science. But also from the advocacy piece, I wanted to give students the opportunity to learn coding. So if they were able to show up, because we do know that not every school offers coding or offer computer science. So I felt the need to offer that that club, especially to our female students as well.
Yeah, I actually just want to join in on that comment. I think the great thing about the clubs has been this makes it much more equitable. So no matter what school you are at, you have the opportunity to do these clubs. Like, I know when we've done showcase of schools, we've been like, oh, we offer all of this stuff if you come here, but if you're over there, you can't be part of our thing. And I love the fact that this has allowed for all of the students from any school to participate in any club. And I think that really opens up the playing field for everybody. I'm doing a Lego club and an Among Us club. I am not a gamer, and I had not built any Lego sets since I was probably 10 years old. And I have had so much fun hanging out with the students and just learning from them and getting their feedback, and being able to facilitate that. So for me, this has really brought a lot of enjoyment and light back into my teaching practice during NTI, and I really have enjoyed this time with the students.
And to kind of bounce off him as well, he actually wanted to sponsor a club and promoted it for middle school. And I actually was like, I'm not sure how popular that's going to be, but you're welcome to push it. And he got almost 500 students into that club. So it just goes to show you that, like, not only were our sponsors able to be creative, but also able to open up that bandwidth to kind of reach more kids.
Yeah, so I think we have 6 Among Us clubs. I had to rope in 5 other friends to help split it up, but it's been great.
I'd like to piggyback on that. Oh, I beg your pardon. You go ahead, please.
Okay. How did I develop my club? I actually had 2 clubs. One was Empowered Sports, which just finished up yesterday. Yay. And I know that there's this big push with athletics, but I wanted to also make sure that our scholars had a push for character development, because I wanted them to achieve more in life. So you are more than the sport that you play. So each week we worked on character traits as well as different sports that we participated in. And then my other club, and that was co-ed, so boys and girls, it was definitely inclusive. And I was so happy to see girls show up for athletics. And then my other club was called Royal Girls. Same thing, same concept. It's about character traits, really just developing their character with a focus on goal setting. So I really wanted our scholars to have an opportunity to learn how to create goals. And that was really my purpose behind creating that. So the girl club was so girls could feel empowered to be themselves. And I love, like Victor said, that it was across the district because they had quality conversation that we may not have ever had if it was limited to just our school.
So I definitely, Sean, Leslie, and I, we are the global game changers, and it's a great partnership for so many reasons. It definitely works on building social and emotional learning skills, but it also pairs kids' talents with their passion. So their talents, like maybe they're good at drawing, or maybe they're good at a sport, and then what might be a cause that they're passionate about. It might be social justice, it might be the environment, whatever they're passionate about. They put these things together and it becomes their superpower. And then they create a project in response. And it's been really great for the kids to see examples of children who have made a difference in the world. And I think that kind of empowering message right now is vital, that your gifts and the things that you care about put together can really make a difference in the world.
All right, thank you guys so much for sharing. Just because of time, we're going to have to move to our next question. How are you virtually creating a club culture with your students and building that culture?
Well, just like any classroom, you create your norms and you go over them, and their expectations are well known. Of course, we have a new thing with virtual expectations of everybody needs to have their mic muted, and how do you show that you are excited and appreciative? We do snaps because you can't hear people clap, but we just do snaps. So just those norms and making sure that it's a just platform for everybody to get to be involved.
I think also making sure that everybody knows their worth and encouraging collaboration between the students, that creates a great culture. And in music is so easy because, you know, the power of singing all together, you just lift everybody.
And in my club, I do a lot of student input for the culture side, where we get to decide, okay, since we're using these recycled materials, what's some ideas? What do we have? What can we go with this, so that they have more input on what we will create the next time, or to have that input of what direction it goes, more so as the club culture rather than me saying we're going to do this, so that they have a piece of it to make the club their own. And it really takes on its own life to develop as each session we have, that I'm not the one kind of leading it anymore, that the club itself has its own growth and environment that leads me.
I love that she said that, which is so true, because that student voice, that student feedback piece is important. The culture that we have in our current club, they were able to tell me, Miss Washburn, can we have something harder? Like, this is too easy for us. So just creating that safe space, creating that vulnerability, that is really huge, especially as we are in a virtual environment.
Okay, go to the next question.
Did you say go to the next question? Okay, so the next one, what backpack artifacts have your students created?
I'm excited about this one because, again, like I said earlier, that students were able to, I was able to incorporate standards, and mine was for 3rd through 5th grade. So I've been able to incorporate many writing and social studies standards for them. And they have learned that, even like, I've assigned them different worlds, and they've been able to write and create videos based on whatever assignment I did on Wednesday. And they've added those in their backpacks. So in Minecraft Education Edition, you're able to use what's called the book and quill, and they can write and take pictures of what they build and incorporate that in their book, And then it downloads as a PDF, or they could do a screen recording of their world and their book while they're explaining it. So I've had both of those.
Right now in choir, we're into creating our own compositions. So we are working on lyric creation and writing. And they have been so creative musically, but also with the lyrics. And like somebody said, creating that safe space for them to be able to, to talk and just put themselves into what their experience with all this virtual online has been for them.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to say that that club that you're leading, she was able to share like a video that they were putting together, I think around winter break, and just seeing like that kind of artifact that was being created like collaboratively, and was just authentic, powerful, and it was really nice to see. So it was really awesome.
I totally agree. Did anyone else want to share?
Two different houses.
We created goals for each of the clubs, so they were able to select a personal goal, a professional or school goal, and then just one that was like for leisure or hobby. So the biggest thing was goal setting, and both clubs had the opportunity. We watched videos, we talked about it, and then we have work sessions where we were actually working on and working towards those goals, and they created them on Google Slides. Because, around this time of the year, a lot of people are about vision boards and things of that nature. Well, I can't assume my kids have materials to do that. So I said, we're going to do a Google slide. And then I asked them at the very end, which backpack artifact would this tie to, or which success skill would this tie to? And they was like, oh, this is me being a prepared and resilient learner, goal setting, going from one point to another. So it was really good to see when they were able to make those connections. Because that means that at their schools, they're having those kind of conversations as well.
And I know we have to go on for time, but also a lot of these individuals who are involved with the summer learning program, they had a lot of agency with their artifacts. So just kind of like building off what you were saying, like they had a lot of choice and voice for kind of what they wanted to do, especially if there was barriers that's got in the way. So it was really nice to see.
All right, thank you. Okay, what are some tips for virtual student engagement? And I think that your all's advice is going to be super important for classroom teachers, not just club teachers at this time.
I think Raymond. Go ahead, Elaine.
I'm just going to say student choice, letting the students get excited and choosing how they're going to show their learning and get them excited through that is very important.
And I think the clubs show that. We had so much participation, 500, 600 people wanting to be in the Among Us. I don't know, Raymond, there were a couple hundred that wanted to do Minecraft, and we couldn't. I still have parents emailing me wanting to do it. So, if they're able to choose how they show what they know, you're going to get them engaged. And for the teachers that are watching, don't be afraid just because you don't know how to game, or like Victor said, you don't know how to do those things or build Legos, or even me, I don't know everything about Minecraft, but trust me, they will teach you.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
We're already, aren't we? I was going to say a tip I would give is also if in my case, if a student did not have particular materials or certain ideas of what to do, there was a lot of flexibility. I would always say your mind is as creative as anyone. If you have something you want to do instead during our club, bring it and let's just create together. It was very flexible. It was not rigid in, well, we're working with this material today, or that you need to follow what I have. But if you just have something that's completely different, bring it. Let's work it. Creativity goes aboard everything, and I allowed that in my club, as well as if you kind of are not feeling it today, you get done with yours and you want to go, share and leave early. So they didn't feel like committed to, I've got to sit here this whole time. So I got a lot of flexibility with their time and what they brought with them to do during the club, if it didn't exactly even fit what my club dynamics were.
I love that. Time is so precious for teachers and your students. So true.
So to add to that, student choice was I love the fact that they were able to choose their club, because that hooked them in, and that way, engagement is going to be high because they chose it, right? But then it was also a matter of us deciding that we were going to give them a voice. So with my Royal Girls Club, one of the things that they're doing is they're actually creating the lessons that we're going to be engaging in each week. So they have things that are personal to them that they really want to learn about. One of my scholars has a brother who has a disability, and they really want to learn more about how to engage with what can I do, what do I, and it felt really good to hear that she wants to learn how to be a better sister to her brother. So we're going to be creating opportunities around just empowering her to learn more. So student voice matters because the curriculum is really within us. We just have to find a way to help them engage. And this is virtual or even when we go back in person.
One more thing that I wanted to add about virtual engagement, I think, is stimulating deeper discussions in between the students and just letting them do the analysis. When we pick the repertoire that we're going to sing, we go through the analysis of the lyrics and they do it on their own. And why, what is the meaning of the song? Why? What's the message? How can this song impact others? So let them take over the discussion.
I was just going to say really quick, I know we're pressed for time, is that having that student choice at the beginning is huge for student engagement as well as that student feedback. For an example, my club that I sponsor, we had students create an app. They wanted, after we talked, to see what they wanted to do, what their goals were for the purpose of the club. I found different activities that students can do. So when they created the app, when they sent it to their cell phone, like they were shocked, like they were excited because one, they built that app all by themselves, of course with help, and then they were able to see it in real life on their cell phone. So I think that was key to increase that student engagement as well.
Yeah, I love that real world learning. Student buy-in is huge. Okay, thanks guys for sharing for that one. Okay, it actually kind of leads into, I know what we were just talking about, taking what we're doing with engagement and bringing it back. So how can you take what you've learned teaching these clubs and apply it when we return to in-person classes?
I think that just like we said, the student choice and getting, their voice. I thought it was snowing outside, and getting their voice. But also we have Harlena in the chat, and she was saying that by letting the students have more voice and have a cultural relevant conversation with them, which goes into having them getting their voice, is huge when we return back in person, just like it is now.
I hope these clubs get to continue when we go back in person.
I would take in the classroom from mine being K2 with recycled materials fits one of our standards about how humans affect their environment. So I would take that back in the classroom to help my kids understand that recycling materials can be more than being reused, but we're going to remake into something new and have them look at the world a little differently and what effect they can have, even in their little 5, 6, 7-year-old lives, the effect on our environment as we interact with our world outside of the classroom, but bring that information inside the classroom so they then can take it home and look at these materials that are normally thrown out or recycled in a new way to benefit the world down the line. This could be that jumpstart at such a young mind that to look at things that are considered trash or no longer usable as renewable and new.
Right, I know. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, listening to everyone, there is that common theme that this is cross-curricular, many content subjects. So even though it is called, like the club part, we still have students learning. We still have students writing, doing the math, doing the social studies and the science. So I can see that this is only benefiting students. And when we go back to school, they will talk about their experiences. They will reflect on the experiences that we had in person.
Yes, that reflection piece is super important. I know that some of us made slides, kind of just share over what their club is. We have about 4 minutes. So if we want to just take a little bit of time to share. So this one was from Penelope.
I think she had to drop off.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh no, she's there. Oh, you're still there.
Sorry, I'm here. Yeah, I didn't know I was muted. Yeah, so basically it's a virtual choir, and the students all they need really is their Chromebook that they already, most of them have in order to make their own recordings. And that's all they need, just their voice and their Chromebook. And we meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 5.
Perfect. I'm trying to go to the next one. There we go. And here's Jennifer's.
Hi, I'm Jennifer's teaching partner. She had to go teach a class. My name is Nishan Lasley, and Global Game Changers is just a program that encourages students to look inside themselves and to discover the leader that's in them. My favorite part about it, this is kind of one of their little theme songs. It says, "Believe in the world by believing in you." And I think so many of our students can look and see what's going on and get disheartened and feel like they can't make a difference. But Global Game Changers teaches them how to use their strength. We call that their superpower. Plus their heart, their talent, plus their heart equals their superpower. So what they're passionate about and the things that they do well, how to use that to make a difference in the world. So that's basically Game Changers. We meet on Thursdays from 4 to 5.
Awesome.
So this was our Empowered Sports Co-Ed. We did character and skill building each week for on and off the court, introduced a new character trait each week, like respect, responsibility, sportsmanship, integrity, and ways to develop that. And then we had virtual 1 week, and then we would be face-to-face the following week. So every 2 weeks they have the opportunity to come together to play together, but the requirement was having their own equipment, wearing a mask, and of course I sprayed everything down with Lysol. So it was a fun opportunity for them to discuss goals, like I shared earlier. Excuse me, I got something in my throat. Like I shared earlier, and then also to be able to provide movement opportunity with each other. And then I built a site that allowed them to go back to all of those videos and be able to just see those videos over again, practice those skills over again, and then also to look at those character traits as well if they wanted to continue learning.
Are you there, Victor?
Yeah, I'm here. So I did an Among Us club and a Lego club. And the Among Us club, it was just a chance for kids to get together. Among Us, you have a limit of 10 in a game. So we would use the breakout rooms in Google Meets, and the kids could have a chance to just play Among Us. And it's so much more fun when you're on video and you're seeing who you're playing against and the people. And it's a lot of fun because students will come up with variations on the game and different rules. And so it's always neat to see what alternative games we come up with to keep it fresh. And then the Lego Club, it's for grades 3 through 5, and that has been a ton of fun. We have a weekly building challenge. So last week it was micro builds. So you had to use between 20 and 29 pieces to complete your building challenge. And then we'll start the club off showing what we built from last week. Then we have a weekly Lego quiz using Kahoot. And then we introduce some kind of new building challenge. And so one of our building challenges was we built little webcam buddies so we could clip those onto our webcams and like have our little favorite character hang out with us during our meets.
That's so cute. All right, I know we're at 101 actually, but we could go. Can we go through these really quick so everyone can share?
Really, really quick.
Okay, I don't think Carlina is here.
So this was my other club, which was all girls. It's about establishing self-worth to fit my crown. Very similar to the Empowered Sports, but it was just the girl version. It was us getting together, setting our goals. Girl talk was one of the biggest things that they really wanted to be able to have. They're like, can we just talk at the end? I was like, oh, okay. So they had that social opportunity. I had no idea that it was something that they would have wanted to do. So it was just really just trying to empower them to be their absolute best self as girls so they can go back and rock out this world.
Perfect. And then Elaine had to drop off, but this was her filmmaking club.
Yeah, that's just Cody Mania, but it's in the slideshow. So we can move on to the next slide for time purposes.
All right, so that's create, craft, crimp, crinkle. And this is a gallery creations from my students. They, in Google Classroom, were able to upload what they made, and there was tons more, but this is what I could squeeze on the slide. So you can kind of see it varies from everything from leaves to acorns, from items from nature to cylinder rolls and water bottles, milk jugs, and the like. So lots and lots of creations there.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for coming.